Good evening. I'd like to welcome members of tonight's council meeting. Would you please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the meeting to order and open the roll call.
Slater?
Here.
Scholl?
Here.
Rusher?
Here.
Davis?
Here. And we need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the minutes of the May 19th, 2014 regular council meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve the treasurer's monthly investment report. Any questions?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You know, I look at these here at 0.4% interest, you know, which is the same problem we have at the landfill. We talked about that we have, you know, monies there, but there's a lot of money there, and we just really just doesn't do it. So we use the interest money, but not the other. Kind of like the churches. It is sad, but good borrowing money, not good when you're getting interest money anyway. So. Yeah, do we have any questions on the claims? Well, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move.
Just,
Second.
Okay, now go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just had a couple of things, maybe, did we talk about pool chemicals? I mean, is that a monthly purchase for $2,600? That's gonna be like a year's supply for chemicals?
It's not a
down there?
full year. What, they have, liquid chlorine up there, and it's in the tank, and it administers, essentially, they don't have to mess with it at all. And so it's completely enclosed, so it's a lot safer system than what they used to do. And
Okay.
so, the company comes up and fills up the tanks that they use, to balance the water. And normally you'll go through it, I think you might go through it twice, and then the third one, they just give you enough to get you to the end of the season.
Okay,
And that way you don't have a lot of waste.
I was curious about that. And so we had like a $2,700 bill for boiler maintenance at the library, was that just kind of something that's going, from A&A Heating and Cooling? Remember about that?
I think that was just.
Maintenance, scheduled maintenance and things like that.
It's pretty pricey, but I know that boiler's got quite a few years on it, so.
And then they had that sump pump issue over there too here within the last month or so. Did they go along with like Leroy's recommendations on how to address that issue? Or?
The sump is actually, it takes the water off of the handicap ramp
yes.
that comes down, goes in, and they've tried for years to try and keep things from getting into that, and last time they had a grinder pump and then they replaced it with a regular pump. The regular pump fried out after a while, so went ahead and just put the grinder pump back in. You know, it's a little bit more expensive.
Okay.
It just, rather than having to stick it in there and burn it out, and then it starts,
good.
causing issues with the structure there. So.
I know the grinder pump was a little more expensive than just a
Yeah.
regular
Is that pumping over in the big holding tank there, up underground?
I think it's pumping out into the street, actually. It's discharging out into the
We
street.
did put in a huge tank outside, like 10,000 gallons or 6,000, some large tank anyway, we put in the whole water anyway.
I think it's
in the yard.
There's two pumps there, and so one might pump the tank and then pump out. I'm not exactly sure how that works.
One's in the northwest corner, the other's in the
Knowledge
southwest corner.
of the library, but the interesting thing is I think the pump is right next to the elevator. So when you're in the elevator, if the pump's running, it sounds like the elevator's having it gets your heart racing every little bit.
And then,
You probably have a sump, I would guess you'd have a sump pump at the bottom of the elevator shaft too.
Yeah, that's where I think the one that comes up in off the pedestrian handicap ramp there goes into that holding, or into that sump pump there, that pit. And then I think there's one over next to the boiler room, there's one down in there.
Yeah.
laser copier printer repairs, is that for your guys' office? Is that something routine scheduled maintenance, or
And that's one time, well, not, I mean, where our maintenance agreement is expired now, so.
Oh. Had we talked about possibly leasing
We looked-
copiers and things like that?
We looked at several different options, and there was a lot of, we looked at, people out of Portage, people out of Mason City. Dean actually just went through this process.
I know
He
it.
went through a lot of different
We
companies.
talked about it,
And
didn't
it was,
we?
oh yeah, here on the LEC board. And so, talked with him about his experience, and fortunately we found somebody, this guy, Dandy Laser out of
Yeah.
Algona, he is really sharp and really knows what he's doing, and I think we might be able to get a decent amount of life out of these existing copiers with, his maintenance, because he fixed one of our, I mean, that thing's a dinosaur that's sitting over in the corner, and he was able to fix it, and it's the one that prints off our, disconnect notices and bills, and it's been working fantastic, so.
Oh, good. I didn't know.
I think we're in
what
good shape.
changes.
I thought we would have to do a replacement here within the next year, and I would put it on the budget. And right before the budget, I was looking at it, but with this guy, I think we're in good shape. At least another year, possibly longer.
Sanitation gate piece, is that a month billing for the city, or is that what that is? $1,600 a month for us to dump down there? I see.
So, and that's gone up a little bit.
Gone up a little bit
Weight versus volume.
by the load, yeah.
And so I know like the parks guys are looking at ways to try and, they used to haul some heavier material down there with sumps and things like that, and just trying to figure out ways to possibly reduce some of that cost, because when it is heavy, it is expensive.
Mhm. That's all. I just had a few questions about some expenses, that's all. Thank you.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Under communications, anything from the public in attendance this evening? Under unfinished business, discussion and possible action on a flashing signal repairs on Fifth Street north of Penn School.
After the last discussion, the council wanted to see what was, what the possibility was for getting a beacon flashing towards the east. Leroy did some digging and he was able to find, he actually had some old equipment from the school flashing beacons that they can replace the lens on it, put a red lens into it and have it face east. And so, he said, you know, when we're rewiring the control box, he can drop a wire in there and conduit over to the new control box and have that function off the same through our flashing lights that currently face north and south. And so that would be a possibility. It would just go on just like the other lights.
I stopped and measured those today. I think the cheaper option was 12 inches on the flashing red lights.
Yeah.
That's what these are,
Mm-hmm.
is 12 inches.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't be gaining anything, you know, size-wise.
You're just going from a bulb to an LED, right?
Brighter.
Yeah, it'd be brighter. Yeah, definitely brighter LED. But
You know, I watch guys go through the new one there at the bridge now, you know, and I stand beside them, they go through, you know, so it's bigger, doesn't even.
Bigger doesn't mean better.
No, not always anyway, so. But, whatever the council chooses.
Well, my feeling is that what's one child worth?
what's that?
What's one child worth?
How can you put a value on someone else's life?
And you know, I've seen so many people just buzz right through there and not even see it. And it's a shame because these kids their size know there's a light there because there's a crosswalk and they expect them to stop.
Mhm.
And you can't stand there and tell every one of them you have to wait now because that person will stop. So I don't know where to go with it, but we need something that stops cars.
That's what I was wondering too, like I think we discussed it with Aaron, that, you know, if our options were $1,500 or $10,000, I mean, wasn't there something, you know, in between those two dollar amounts that would be practical to use, or, I don't know.
You know, I was thinking that too, but what is there, $10,000 difference between the two options, I believe?
Yeah.
I agree, you know, 100% with what, you know, what you're talking about. But I think the LED might be a big step up too from what, you know, what we're using now.
I don't think it's a light as much as it's just the timing. People just don't watch where they're driving, you know,
Yeah.
there's too many things going on, they're on their phones, they're doing, and they're, that time, you know, all of a sudden you think, well, I didn't stop there when I went uptown, so I'm not gonna stop on the way down, and, but the lights change, and you still don't think about that.
Well, I
I think
think
that's what happens, it's not that you don't see the lightness, it could just not pay
Yeah,
attention. to it.
reminder of other places.
Yeah. And in the wintertime, it's gonna be a more slippery intersection. I've gone through that stop and just
Yeah.
continued right out through to the other side. Had to go Leroy for sand, but.
I don't know.
People sit there for a minute, and it starts to melt and heat up, and then it gets slippery, and it's,
I don't think, do we have many accidents on that corner? On the, is there quite a few?
Yeah, for most of them weren't because of the light, it was late at night, they were doing other things. But, I watched them drive through it also.
Yeah,
I think the problem is they're not expecting it to be flashing.
right.
So you have to flash all the time, but it's,
Yeah.
deal with that, really isn't good. And we sit there, but we have to visually see that light flashing, and we can't sit back and watch that light, and we can't see it. So it could be, like, well, it's not on, we can't tell it's not on, we can't see it.
Right.
But as far as that light, I'm not aware of any accidents with that light.
I guess when you spend $1,500 and try it, if it doesn't work, and rolling up $1,500 as opposed to, just my thoughts anyway, but as opposed to spending $10,000. Justin, I think the LED will be quite a.
What were the bids from last week?
I think it was like 1,399 or something like that, and then 9 something, actually.
Yeah, I think it was a little under 10,000.
Mhm, I do
The other
too.
one was like 1,400. So,
Are they from the same company?
Same company. It's
Same
the
com-
same, general traffic control team it is, and they do all of our.
You think if we tried the lower priced item and then decided that we didn't like it, or it wasn't functional enough, that we would be able to trade that back in towards the purchase of a new one?
No.
Noth-
You
Nothing,
just have-
nothing like that, huh?
I mean, the control
We're
box,
paying for the labor.
yeah, I mean, the control box, you'd still be able to reuse, all that stuff.
It's just like putting,
Take the lens off.
yeah, it's like putting LED lights on equipment nowadays. It is so much, they are so much brighter and,
Mhm.
you know, than the old lights were. I guess I'd like us to see, try the LEDs and see if it works. And if we don't like it, then we can always, I mean, we're out $1,500, I guess, but,
Not even, I mean, 'cause some of that's, like the control boxes.
this wasn't something that was budgeted for.
This would be something that would be, and that would be coming out of the general fund?
Yeah, I mean, road use, actually.
Road use?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you, John. If we wanna try that, and we don't get results,
Mhm.
Right,
let's not sit and debate it
No.
any longer after that,
yeah.
okay?
So I guess
agree.
I would make that motion to go with the LED lights.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? On our new business, we need a motion to approve a request from Dodgen Industries for a street closure from June 10th to 13th for their special event.
Dodgen Industries has this event every year, and they just close off the frontage road for pedestrians, and they have some of the equipment and I think some tents and stuff set up out front, so.
Yeah.
Same frontage road closure shouldn't cause much disruption, because it's mainly them in that area. Jacko and everybody else can come from the other side, so.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We need a motion to approve a request from the Humboldt Dakota City Chamber of Commerce for a donation for the 4th of July fireworks of $3,500.
The council discussed this earlier this year, and there was unanimous support to continue to support the fireworks with funding from the city. Chamber struggles to raise enough funds every year to keep the level of fireworks at the level of show that they've had every year. With that in mind, that are asking for a donation to help assist with vital
Move
residents.
approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I think that's a wise choice, I think. Under resolutions, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-61. A resolution approving for and adopting a policy for the examination of public records for the city of Humboldt.
This open records policy adds the portions of the state code to the city code that were used during the last open records request. If you remember, this was the Eagle Ridge request that we had. These sections allow for the city to recoup costs for large cumbersome requests for public records. It also creates a standard form for requests to ensure that all requests are clearly understood. A representative from the Iowa Public Information Board asked that we adopt this section to our policy to better guide individuals through the process. She didn't find anything wrong with the way that we handle the request, but she did say, you know, if you've got it in your code on top of using the city code, then it'll be easier for people to follow through that process. While the form for open records requests will help provide clarity, it's not that all requests will have to come through that form, because you can't limit somebody to having only open records requests through a form. She can make them verbally in every other way they would like to, but it just helps us in making sure that that does come through correctly.
How do we recoup our expenses for that? The person that requests the request?
Yes, so essentially if, you know, somebody comes in and says, you know, I want to see everything dating back to 1900 that deals with, you know, parks, you know, we can try and come to some rough estimate on what it would cost to do that. And then that money would have to be paid before anything was actually started. It'd be very hard to even come up with a number for some requests like that,
Right,
but,
right.
you know, sometimes there are just things that are very large, ridiculous requests that are really hard to comply with. On the other hand, you know, a lot of times Kent will come in and ask for something, and I can just hand him a piece of paper in 5 seconds, you know.